There are two types of men walking around right now. One type, women forget his name before he even leaves the room. The other type, women lie awake at 3 a.m., scrolling through his photos, wondering what he's doing, terrified he'll find someone better. And here's the brutal truth that will make you sick to your stomach. You're probably the first type, and you've been that type your entire life. But today, I'm going to show you exactly how to become the man that women fear losing. The man who lives rentree in their heads. The man who makes them act differently than they've ever acted before. And most of you will watch this entire video, understand everything, and still do absolutely nothing about it. Because changing requires something most men don't have. The ability to make quick, decisive decisions. Let me tell you what happened to me last week. I'm sitting in a cafe watching this interaction. There's a guy, maybe 28, good-looking, well-dressed, sitting with this beautiful woman. She's on her phone the entire time. He's trying to make conversation. She's giving one-word answers. He's leaning forward. She's leaning back. He's investing everything. She's investing nothing. And I'm watching this thinking, brother, she made her decision about you 180 days ago, and you're still sitting here trying to convince her. That's when it hit me. This man will waste another 6 months of his life before she finally leaves him for someone who knew when to walk away. You see, yes, every year the gap gets bigger. The stratification between men who succeed with women and men who fail is becoming a canyon. On one side, you have men with multiple options, women competing for their attention, relationships on their terms. On the other side, men begging for scraps of attention, getting dumped repeatedly, wondering what's wrong with them, and the gap is only growing wider. Soon, there will be no middle ground. You're either winning or you're invisible. The difference between these two groups, it's not looks, it's not money, it's not even confidence. It's one simple quality: the ability to make quick decisions. That's it. That's the secret. The man who can decide in seconds what other men agonize about for months. The man who can walk away when others cling desperately. The man who acts while others analyze. This is the man women fear losing. Listen, by the time you're 30 to 35, the average man has had maybe 5 relationships, a few short-term situations, some meaningless encounters, and he thinks this is normal. Everyone lives like this, he tells himself, but it's a massive misconception. While he's had 5 mediocre relationships where women left him, other men have had 50 experiences where they did the leaving. While he's learned nothing except how to get hurt, other men have learned how to be irreplaceable. Here's what destroys most men from the beginning. Learned helplessness from adolescence when girls are interested in older guys. When you're invisible in school, when you watch the same 5 guys get all the attention. You learn to hide your desires. You learn to suppress your wants. You learn that wanting something and not getting it hurts. So, you stop wanting. You stop approaching. You stop trying. You just exist and wait and hope. Like a plant waiting for rain in the desert. I want you to think about your last relationship, the one where she left you. Be honest. When did you first notice she was losing interest? When was the first conflict? When did the attraction start dying? I'll tell you when. About 6 months before she actually left. That's 180 days. 180 days where you saw the signs, felt the distance, knew something was wrong, and did nothing. You couldn't make the decision to leave first. You couldn't make the decision to confront the issue. You just waited, hoped, endured. You know what's crazy? If you had made the decision to walk away the moment you felt her pulling back, not only would she have probably come running back, but even if she didn't, you would have saved yourself 180 days of pain, 180 days of diminishing self-worth, 180 days of opportunities with other women. Let me put this in perspective for you. Imagine 2 columns. Column 1, the average man who can't make decisions. Column 2, the man who makes quick decisions. Column 1, he senses problems in his relationship but does nothing. Waits, hopes things improve. For 180 days, he's in relationship purgatory. During this time, if he was single and on dating apps, even in a small city, he could have had 5 conversations a day. That's 35 a week. Over 100 a month. In 6 months, 600 opportunities, 600 conversations, 600 chances to meet someone better. Instead, he wastes them clinging to someone who's already gone. Column 2. The moment he senses disinterest, he's out. No discussion, no begging, no let's work on things, he's gone. Those same 180 days, he's having those 600 conversations. He's gaining experience. He's building options. He's becoming more attractive through practice and abundance. By the time the first guy finally gets dumped, this guy has already forgotten her name. But here's where it gets worse for column 1. After she finally leaves him, he's destroyed. His confidence is shattered. His self-worth is in pieces. He needs months to heal and find himself before he can even think about dating again. So add another 180 days of nothing. That's a full year of his life wasted on one mediocre relationship that was dead after 6 months. Column 2. He's been building momentum for those same 365 days. He's not healing from anything because he never let himself get wounded. He left before the damage could happen. He's been getting stronger, more experienced, more attractive every single day. While the other guy has been getting weaker. You see, yes, most men think inaction is safe. If I don't make any sudden moves, if I don't rock the boat, maybe things will work out. This is like having a cavity and not going to the dentist because you're scared. You know it's getting worse. You know ignoring it won't make it go away. You know eventually the pain will be unbearable. But today, right now, you can pretend it's not there. So, you do nothing. And what could have been fixed with a simple filling becomes a root canal, an extraction, massive pain, and huge expense. That's exactly what happens in relationships. What could have been a clean break becomes a devastating destruction of your entire sense of self. Because every day you stay in a relationship where you're not valued, where you're not desired, where you're barely tolerated, you're programming yourself to believe that's what you deserve. You're training yourself to accept scraps. You're becoming less attractive every single day. Listen, there's something I need to tell you that nobody else will. The moment you tolerate disrespect, you've already lost. Not just the relationship, you've lost yourself, because that moment of accepting less than you deserve becomes a pattern. That pattern becomes a habit. That habit becomes your identity. And suddenly you're the guy who's grateful for breadcrumbs, thankful for minimal effort, excited when she finally texts back after 3 days. I coached this guy last year, successful entrepreneur, built his company from nothing. In business, ruthless decision maker. Could fire underperforming employees without blinking, could cut unsuccessful product lines instantly, but with women, completely different person. His girlfriend would disappear for days, come back with weak excuses, and he'd just accept it. I asked him, if an employee treated your time like this, what would you do? He said, fire them immediately. I said, so why is your romantic life worth less than your business? He couldn't answer. That's the disease. Men who are kings in every area except relationships. Now let's talk about what happens when you develop this quick decision muscle. When you start making immediate decisions based on your gut, your standards, your boundaries, magic happens. But not the magic you think. The magic is that you start accumulating experience at a rate that other men can't imagine. Think about learning to drive. The more you drive, the better you get. Think about the gym. The more you train, the stronger you become. But relationships aren't like that for most men. Most men have the same relationship over and over. They meet a girl, pedestalize her, lose themselves trying to keep her, get dumped, heal, repeat. They never learn because they never change their approach. They're not gaining experience, they're repeating trauma. But the man who makes quick decisions, every interaction teaches him something. Every conversation builds his skills. Every relationship, however brief, adds to his understanding. He's not having the same experience 5 times. He's having 500 different experiences, and each one makes him more powerful. Here's what nobody tells you. Society will hate you for this. People will call you player, selfish, afraid of commitment. Your friends will say you're too picky. Women you reject will say you're damaged. Everyone will have an opinion about how you should lower your standards, give people chances, work on relationships. They want you to be like them. Trapped, settling, afraid. Listen, I had this friend, successful guy, making good money. He meets this girl. She's beautiful but has red flags everywhere. Party girl past, male friends, constant need for attention. I tell him to run. He says I'm being judgmental. 3 years later, she cheats with his business partner. He loses his girlfriend and his business. He comes to me broke and says, "You were right." Of course, I was right. The signs were there from day one. But he couldn't make the quick decision to leave because society told him to give her a chance. Society wants you weak. It wants you accepting whatever you can get. It wants you grateful for scraps. Because when you start making quick decisions, when you start walking away from bad situations, when you start demanding better, you make everyone else look bad. You make them question their own acceptance of mediocrity. Think about it. There are men right now in relationships where they're disrespected daily, where their woman flirts with other men, where they're treated like an ATM or an emotional tampon, and they know it's wrong. They feel it in their bones, but they stay because that's what you do. Because relationships take work. Because nobody's perfect. They're dying inside. But at least they're not alone, right? Wrong. Being with the wrong person is the loneliest feeling in the world. It's worse than being single, because when you're single, at least you have hope. When you're with the wrong person, you have neither love nor hope. You're just existing in relationship purgatory, too scared to leave, too miserable to stay. But here's what happens when you become the man who makes quick decisions. You become magnetic. Women sense it immediately. They can feel that you're not desperate, that you have options, that you won't tolerate disrespect. And suddenly, magically, they start treating you differently. The same woman who would have taken you for granted now cooks for you. The same woman who would have made you wait now pursues you. The same woman who would have left you now fears losing you. I've seen this transformation hundreds of times. A man comes to me broken, telling me about his ex who treated him like garbage. 6 months later, after learning to make quick decisions, he's got 3 women competing for his attention. A year later, his ex is sliding into his DMs, begging for another chance. But by then, he can't even remember why he wanted her. Because here's the truth about quick decisions. They compound. Every quick decision makes the next one easier. Every time you walk away from disrespect, you build self-respect. Every time you choose yourself over someone else, you become more valuable. It's exponential growth versus linear decay. Let me give you a practical example. You match with a girl online. You chat for a bit. Seems promising. You suggest meeting for coffee. She says she's busy this week. Maybe next week. Old you would wait, would keep texting, would build connection, would waste 2 weeks of your life on someone who's not interested enough to make time for you, knew you. The moment she says maybe next week, you're gone, unmatched, deleted. On to the next. Because if she's not excited to meet you now, she never will be. And those 2 weeks, you would have wasted. You've already had 5 other dates. You've already found someone who cleared their schedule to see you. You're already living while the old you would still be waiting. This is what I mean by quick decisions. It's not about being hasty or reckless. It's about recognizing patterns and acting immediately. She takes 24 hours to reply to your text. Decision made. She's not interested enough. She cancels plans last minute. Decision made. She doesn't respect your time. She mentions her ex constantly. Decision made. She's not over him. No analysis. No excuses. No second chances. Just decisions and action. You know what the biggest excuse I hear is? But what if I'm wrong? What if she really was busy? What if I'm throwing away something good? Listen to me carefully. You're not throwing away anything good. Good relationships don't start with excuses. Good relationships don't require you to lower your standards. Good relationships don't make you question your worth. And even if you are wrong, so what? There are literally billions of women on this planet. You think this one mediocre girl who can't text you back is your soulmate. You think this one woman who makes you feel bad about yourself is your only chance at love. That's scarcity mindset, and it's killing your attractiveness. The man who makes quick decisions operates from abundance. He knows that for every woman who doesn't meet his standards, there are 10 who will. He knows that his time is valuable. He knows that his attention is a gift, not a given. And women can sense this from across the room. You want to know something that will blow your mind? Women actually want you to have standards. They want you to be selective. They want to feel like they earned your attention, not like you're desperate for anyone who will have you. When you make quick decisions, when you walk away easily, you're demonstrating value. You're showing that you have options. You're proving that you don't need them. And paradoxically, that makes them need you. I remember this woman I was seeing a few years back. Beautiful, successful, used to men chasing her everywhere. First date, she shows up 20 minutes late. No apology, just expects me to be waiting. You know what I did? I left after 10 minutes. She calls me furious. Where are you? I said, I don't wait more than 10 minutes for anyone. If you can't respect my time, we're not compatible. She was shocked. Nobody had ever done that to her. She apologized, begged for another chance, showed up 15 minutes early to the next date. Why? Because I demonstrated through action, not words, that my time had value. That's the point. Quick decisions aren't just about leaving bad situations. They're about establishing your value from day one. They're about setting the frame that you're the prize, not her. They're about creating the dynamic where she's trying to keep you, not the other way around. But here's the hard truth. Most of you watching this will never change. You'll nod along, maybe take some notes, feel motivated for about 5 minutes, then go right back to your old patterns. You'll keep waiting for her to text. You'll keep accepting disrespect. You'll keep making excuses for why you can't leave because change is scary and you'd rather deal with familiar pain than unknown possibility. I see it every day. Men come to me after their 5th breakup, their 2nd divorce, their 100th rejection. They want the magic pill, the secret technique, the one weird trick. But when I tell them the answer is simply making quick decisions, they look disappointed. That's it? They ask. Yes, that's it. But it requires you to completely rewire your brain to go against everything society taught you to risk being alone, rather than accepting less than you deserve. Let me paint you 2 pictures of where you'll be in 5 years. Picture 1. You ignore everything I've said. You keep doing what you're doing. In 5 years, you've had maybe 2 more relationships. Both ended with her leaving. You're older, more bitter, less attractive. You've lowered your standards even more just to avoid being alone. You're in a relationship with someone you're not even attracted to, but at least she tolerates you. You look at other men with beautiful, loving women and wonder what they have that you don't. You blame genetics, money, luck, everything except your inability to make quick decisions. Picture 2. You start today. You make the decision to never tolerate disrespect again, to never wait for someone who isn't excited about you, to never lower your standards for companionship. The first year is hard. You're alone more. You face rejection because you're approaching more. But you're learning, growing, becoming stronger. Year 2, you notice women treating you differently. They sense your power, your options, your unwillingness to settle. Year 3, you have more options than you can handle. Year 4, you meet someone exceptional who treats you like a king because she knows you'll walk if she doesn't. Year 5, you're living a life the old you couldn't even imagine. The choice is yours. But here's the thing. Not making a choice is still a choice. Every day you don't change is a day you've chosen to stay the same. Every moment you don't act is a moment you've chosen inaction. Every relationship you don't leave is a relationship you've chosen to endure. You want to know why some men have women fighting over them while you can't get a text back? It's not because they're better looking. It's not because they have more money. It's because they made the decision years ago to never accept less than they deserve. And they've been making that same decision every day since. While you've been making excuses, they've been making moves. Listen, I know this is harsh. I know this feels like an attack, but sometimes you need someone to grab you by the shoulders and shake you awake. You're sleepwalking through your romantic life, accepting whatever crumbs fall from the table, grateful for any attention at all. And until someone tells you that you deserve better, that you can have better, that better is available right now if you just make the decision, you'll keep sleepwalking until you wake up at 50. Alone or trapped, wondering where your life went. The man women fear losing isn't special. He isn't gifted. He isn't lucky. He's just decisive. He knows what he wants and won't accept less. He knows his worth and won't let anyone diminish it. He knows his time is valuable and won't waste it on May. That's it. That's the whole secret. But it's a secret most men will never learn because they're too busy hoping things will magically get better without them having to make any hard decisions. Here's your homework, and 95% of you won't do it, which is why 95% of you will stay exactly where you are. The next time you feel disrespected, dismissed, or devalued by a woman, whether it's someone you're dating, talking to, or pursuing, make the immediate decision to walk away. No explanation, no discussion. No, let's work on this. just gone. Delete her number, block her socials, move on with your life. I guarantee you one of two things will happen. Either she'll come running back suddenly realizing your value, suddenly willing to do what she should have done from the start, or she won't, and you'll have saved yourself months of pain and wasted time. Either way, you win. Either way, you're building the muscle of quick decision-making that will transform every aspect of your romantic life, but you won't do it. You'll find excuses. But she's different. But we have history. But I really like her. But what if nobody else wants me? These excuses are the chains that keep you enslaved to mediocrity. And until you're willing to break them, nothing I say matters. The clock is ticking. Every day you waste in indecision is a day you can't get back. Every moment you spend with someone who doesn't value you is a moment stolen from someone who would. Every second you hesitate is a second someone else is acting. The question isn't whether you understand what I'm saying. You do. The question is whether you have the courage to act on it. The man women fear losing doesn't need courage because he made his choice long ago. He chose himself. He chose standards. He chose quick decisions over prolonged agony. And because of that choice, he never has to fear being alone, being unwanted, being left. Because when you're willing to leave, nobody wants to let you go. That's the paradox. That's the secret. That's the truth nobody wants you to know. The moment you stop needing them is the moment they start needing you. The moment you're willing to walk away is the moment they'll do anything to make you stay. The moment you make quick decisions is the moment you become the man women fear losing. Now you know. The question is, what are you going to do about it?